Hey guys, for today's video I want to talk about Economy 101. This is going to help in-game leaders decide what kind of strategies they're going to run and what they can expect from their opponents. So the first thing to talk about is the money loss bonus. So when you lose a round, you start with $1,400 as a round loss bonus. Every consecutive round loss after that, you'll get an additional $500 up to a maximum of $3,400. So this is how all the consecutive round losses will work. As soon as you win a round and then lose a round, you go right back to the $1,400, and then it goes up by $500. If you're a terrorist though, and you plant the bomb but lose the round, you get an additional $800 on top of the bonus. So whether it's the first round, the third round, the fifth round, it doesn't matter. If you lose a round, you get your consecutive round loss bonus plus the $800. That's why it's so easy for terrorist teams to keep forcing and rebuying these full buys with, Galil armor full nade set or AK armor and a few grenades, because it's cheaper for the terrorists to buy. First of all, the AK costs less. They don't have to deal with getting things like kits. Molotovs cost 400, incendiaries are 600. So the terrorist full buy can happen at $4,700. You can do a pretty strong buy at $4,200 to $4,500. And if you're getting a bomb plant plus 5 round loss and a kill, you can do a full buy with an AK full nade set and armor. So terrorists can keep buying and buying and buying even if they've lost 5 rounds in a row. But if you're a counter terrorist, this $3,400 doesn't go far. I mean, it barely gets you an M4. You won't be able to get armor. You can get a FAMAS and armor and a smoke and a flash, but that's not a lot of money either. You'll need drops. That's why as a counter-terrorist, until your team builds up an economy, it's very important to stay alive, have minimal casualties, and keep building up your economy so that you can afford to have casualties and you can afford to chase and get non-impact frags or exit kills, things like that. If you don't have enough economy, the counter-terrorists need to play really smart and safe and stay alive so that they can build the economy. Because what happens if you're constantly dropping weapons and everyone's down to, $500 each or $0, everyone just full buys out, and then you lose a round, you're going to get your money reset down to this $1,400 bonus, and then you're going to have to save this and save that until you can do a buy. And even with the $1,400 plus $1,900, that's not a strong buy at all. You're looking at, just like it's the same as losing like one of these rounds, where you have $3,400. It's not a strong buy. You're still not going to be able to afford ops. You're going to still be FAMAS with half armor and a few grenades or an M4 and a flashbang type of thing. So it's very important as a counter-terrorist to stay alive, to win the rounds with a lot of people alive, and to just build up your economy so that you can afford to have more casualties. And that's why it's important for terrorists that even if they lose rounds, just to to get a lot of kills, just to deal a lot of damage to the CT's economy. So that's why things like forcing bomb plants is good on terrorist side, because they get the extra $800, and just trying to get 3 or 4 kills on an eco is like a really good eco round win for terrorists. Even if you don't win the round, but it's still a good round. It's still a win in so to speak, because you're dealing so much damage to the economy that now the next round where you have guns, the CTs are going to have a worse economy, and if you beat them, you'll put them on a double eco. And it's all because you did a lot of economic damage on that round that you ecoed. You still lost the round, but it's a good outcome. If you plant the bomb and it explodes, you get $3,500. If the terrorists plant the bomb and you defuse it, you get $3,500. But if you just kill the enemy team, whether you're T or CT, it's $3,250 for your team for winning the round. So this is just the basics done. And now the good thing about, or it's not really a good thing, it's a feature that's in CS, where in the new demos you can actually see how many people stayed alive, and it helps tracking economy so much easier than it used to be. So I've pulled up an old demo here where I've coincidentally played well, and you can see we started off on terrorist side and we won the pistol round. So right here we know that the counter terrorists are going to be either on a pistol armor buy or a full eco. And depending on which of the two that they choose to do, it's going to tell us what they're going to do in fourth round. So the fourth round would be the first gun round, and that's going to be for the counter-terrorists. The terrorists can usually, if they get bomb plants, buy sometimes on second round or third round with like AKs and armor, depending on bomb plants and how the rounds play out. But the counter-terrorists generally, if they lose pistol round, won't be able to afford to buy until the fourth round unless they do pistol armor and they win an eco. So we won the pistol round, and then the next two anti-eco rounds where NIP was able to buy up guns here. Now they won this round where they bought up guns, and in the new demos I'll tell you how many people stayed alive if you look at this. But back in historic CSGO and back into 1.6 and Source, you had to actually remember it. And I encourage people who are trying to learn this to actually just try to remember it in their heads and keep track, because that's just gonna, it does take away from thinking about other things in the game, but it's also, it keeps you more involved in the game, and you're keeping track of this and other things. It really helps you understand what's going to happen instead of just relying on the game telling you all this information. So depending on how many people stayed alive here, if it's one or two people that stayed alive, then we know that those two people are probably going to drop guns to two other people that can't afford anything. You have to remember, in this round here, they've most likely bought up to sub $1,000. So every one of the players has less than $1,000. So when they win that round, they're going to have a maximum of like $4,000 type of thing, or $4,400 maximum. In most cases, they'll buy down to between $0 and $500. So if they win a round, they'll have between $3,250 and $3,850 type of thing. So just around there. I know I did the math wrong. There's $100 difference. Doesn't matter. It's around that area. So two people are going to drop guns to two people that only had around $3,850. So now those two people who dropped guns have to rebuy. There goes all their money bonus on rebuying the guns and the nades. And the two people that had the guns dropped to them, they buy their nades. They have about $1,000 left over. So now you have, going into this next round, two people with $1,000 left over and three people who've bought out completely with $0. And you can know this because just the way that people will drop for one another and how the economy is playing out. When they lost this round here, what this does is it resets their money bonus. So here, 1, 2, 3 rounds in a row, if I pull up the console, $2,400 is what they were accumulating for that round loss. Now, because they won this round and then they lost here, they're back down to $1,400 for losing this round. So if they're at $1,400, two of them have $1,000 each, so that's $2,400. The rest of them are at $1,400. Not enough for a buy. Same thing goes down to the next round. They have the $1,400 to $2,400 plus the $1,900. That's around $3,400. Okay, $3,300 up to like $4,500, give or take, because of kills, because of kills and whatever reserve money people had. So I always round. It's never accurate. It's just a ballpark, maybe a difference of $500 to $1,000. So their money is still really fucking bad. It's really bad. They ended up winning and then getting bonus. So they're getting all these rounds in a row. And once they start getting this momentum, it's a lot easier for the CTs to maintain control of maps, because now they have smoke grenades, flashes, incendiaries, nades, kits so they can defuse, armor so they don't get one shot all the time unless I have an AK, of course. So it's really good that the CTs are able to pick up momentum here. We win one round, and then we lost right after. And then our money in these last two rounds is going to be really bad because, again, right here, winning this, losing this, that's where our money gets reset. So now, presumably, we won this round, especially if we had only like one person alive. It's going to be really bad. But what you have to keep in mind is did we win this round with 5 people alive or with 1? Because if we had 5 people alive, that means we don't have to rebuy when we lose this round. So if we had 5 people alive here, no one rebuys in this round, which means this money that we had in this round, all the guns, carries on to this round. But if we only had one person alive here, then 4 of us have to rebuy on this round, we're probably down to like no money per person, and then it's going to hit us even harder. So you have to understand how many people are staying alive, because this factors in. Do they keep their guns, or do they lose their guns and have to rebuy it? Big difference. So always just keep that in the back of your head. CT side, we were able to start off and just keep the momentum going. And then here we were able to, we lost a round and then able to reset them. So we probably put them on, if not a double eco, at least a single eco, just because of this. And using this knowledge about what kind of weapons your opponent has can really tell you what kind of strategies they're going to run and what kind of strategies and setups you have to run. So as terrorists, knowing that our opponents are on eco, we will do a safer play. We'll anticipate pushes, bomb site stacks, and we'll avoid close quarter combat, such as going into the apartments and running in through smaller choke points. We'll try to keep the distance. Going arch side middle is really strong as a terrorist on Inferno to keep the distance. You smoke off the choke points, have someone hold the smokes, cover your teammates. At Banana, you can scout someone in, smoke off the choke points, half flashes, and scout someone in. Just send one person in as a sacrifice, as a scout. If he dies, he collects info, tells you if you should attack the bomb site or go back to the other bomb site. And again, on the CT side, if you know your opponents are on eco, it's best to keep your distance, to play safer crossfire setups, and to just not allow the terrorists to split you and get up close and personal on you. Again, if you know the terrorists are on eco with pistols, maybe it's best to avoid the apartments if you're a counter-terrorist. If you're a terrorist and the counter-terrorists are, saving for ops, because you can see the way that someone is saving, maybe they're not getting any armor, or they're going to save for incendiary grenades, you can understand what kind of strategies you can run. Maybe if they're doing like 2 full saves, here we saw if there's 2 full saves here, maybe we'll anticipate incendiary grenades going to the first gun round. So instead of doing a fast strat here, we'll do something slower, where we'll bait out all the incendiaries and the smoke grenades first, and then we'll go from there and then do our execute. And then once we know that we lost this and then one here, they're back on eco, back into the slower pace thing, try to find out where they are, scout them out, keep the distance. Once they have guns again, we know, okay, well, they have guns, but their money's not that great. We can still try a faster strategy, try to take them quickly because they won't have a lot of smokes and incendiaries. Let's try to do something a little bit quicker. It's going to be hard to stop a rush if they don't have much utility. So knowing what your opponent's economy is like tells you what kinds of strategies you can run and what types of setups and strategies your opponents will be running. So important things to keep in your back of your mind, and just play with the information that you have at hand. Anyways, I hope this video helped. If it did, remember to subscribe. Peace.